on a mattress. She came to see me off Broadway, and I was more nervous that night seeing her than I was opening night. I peeked out of the curtains, and there was orange red hair in the second row, and I was really nervous. And after the show, she came back to my funky little dressing room off Broadway with a coil that came out of the couch. She sat and talked to me for about 25 minutes, and she called me kid, because she was 22 years older than I. And just as she was leaving, she said, "Kid, if you ever need me for anything, give me a call." So a few years later, I was asked by CBS to do a special if I could get a major guest star. And so the producer said, "Carol, you ought to call Lucy. You know, she said that to you all, you know." And I said, "Well, I can't, I'd be too nervous." He said, "Well, all she can do is say no. Just call, ask." And so I did. I got her on the phone. And she said, "Hey, kid, you're doing great. What's happening?" And I said, I know you're really busy, Lucy. I don't want to bother you about it." She said, what are you talking about?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to be doing this special for CBS." And she didn't let me finish the sentence. She said, "When do you want me?" And so she was my guest on that. And we became very close friends. She gave me a baby shower, a black tie baby shower, with men attending. It was one of the funniest evenings ever. And her husband then, who was comedian Gary Morton, he opened all the baby gifts, and he did routines on everything, and it was just hysterical. But no, she was very, and she died on my birthday. Yeah, she would always send me flowers on my birthday, and she died on April 26th. And that afternoon, I got flowers from her. It said, "Happy birthday, kid." Yeah. Yeah.
Ms. Burnett, Scott Hoover with People Magazine. As you touched upon, you're not just a comedian, you're an actress, and you've had a lot of great opportunities to be an actress throughout your career. What has that aspect meant to you, to step outside occasionally, just the sketch performing?
Well, I think, look at Steve Carell. Look at Michael Keaton. Look, I mean, you know, they were all funny people, you know, and they weren't, we were all pigeonholed at one point, you know, and it just takes that. Comedians are actors, you know, they are. I was very thrilled when I got the script to Friendly Fire. At first, I looked at the envelope 3 times to make sure my name was on it. I couldn't understand why they did it. But, you know, way back in England, you know, they don't pigeonhole. They can do Shakespeare, then they turn right around and do Noel Coward, then they'll turn right around and do a musical, and so forth. You know, no pigeonholing. And I remember one time, our show was in syndication for a half hour, so all the musical numbers had been cut out. And so the syndicated show only showed the sketches. And one of my favorite sketch performers was Steve Lawrence, who, well, has one of the greatest singing voices ever. And when we would do sketches, we did Take Us on Double Indemnity, Postman Always Rings Twice, African Queen, From Here to Eternity, and he's one of the best sketch comics I've ever worked with. So the show went into syndication. None of the musical numbers were shown. And Steve said that one time he and his wife Edie were at the airport, and these teenage girls ran up to him and they said, "You're that funny guy on the Burnett show." They had no idea he sang, that he was such a singer. So, you know, we can do it all.
Time for one more brief question.
Jeannie, do you want the mic?
Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Those of us who know you a long time have followed ups and downs in your life. Has your sense of humor been the thing that you helped you bounce back, or was your kind of optimism just born in you?
Well, I've always been optimistic. I have a feeling that it happened because of going to all of those movies with my grandmother in the 40s, because there was no cynicism. The good guys made it, the bad guys didn't. If Mickey and Judy wanted to put on a show, they would do it and it would go to Broadway. So I never felt cynical, and I never felt that I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I wasn't thinking of having my name above a title. That wasn't it. But I knew I could work and make a living to put clothes on my back, food on the table, and pay the rent. And so that kept me going. There was one time, way, way early in New York, when I was up for a very small part in a Broadway show, and it was they narrowed it down to another girl and me, and I thought I had it, but I didn't. And something inside, and I have to thank the way I felt, something inside me said, you know what? It's her turn. Not my turn. It's her turn. My turn will come. And so that kept me from being discouraged, that attitude.
You should have seen the excitement in this room when everyone knew you were coming back.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's great.
Thank you.